A cyber attack on the online educational program Canvas is still impacting some schools and universities after the initial breach took the program offline Thursday. For many students, this outage comes during their finals exam weeks. Wave News reporter Meredith Lee has more on what we know about the attack and its impacts on our area. Meredith.
Yeah, a hacking group called Shiny Hunters claimed responsibility for the breach at Canvas, which demanded extortion payments under threat that the platform's data would be leaked.
The attack left nearly 9,000 educational institutions without access to the program, which manages classes, course notes, assignments, grades, communications, and more for students and educators. Of the affected schools are Murray State and Indiana University, including their IU Southeast branch campus in New Albany. As of Friday, IU says their systems are still down. An update that had been sent to students and faculty notes that the situation is evolving and that the university was waiting on independent third-party confirmation that the Canvas environment is secure. For educators, the letter linked to resources not utilizing the Canvas platform to, quote, help instructors maintain course continuity during the outage. At this time, it's not clear exactly when service may be restored for affected students and staff.
Murray State University has not yet responded to our request for information, though a campus news organization claims Canvas is back online for students there. Meredith Lee, Wave News.